Hello, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, and I have some questions for you this morning. They're not my questions, but they're from this book called Max Out Your Life by Ed Milet. And I am going to be starting a new book. Some of you are getting it. The book that we're going to be going through is called Mind Shift. I'm super excited by Erwin McManus. We'll start that book next week. So, where are you tuning in from? How is your morning going? How did you start your morning? I would love to know. What did you do this morning already? Did you move your body? Did you eat breakfast? Are you intermittent fasting? Like, what does your morning routine look like? We get up in the morning, my husband and I go for a walk. We listen to our Bible. We always listen to a Proverbs a day. So for those who are like, what do you listen to? A Proverbs in the morning. It's the book of wisdom in the Bible. So we listen to Proverbs. Today is October 5th. If you're tuning in live, I listen to Proverbs 5. I come home, I read. The whole morning I'm drinking my ketones. I'm reading in Romans, and then I read something to share with you. So I like to get my mindset right. I like to move my body. I like to fuel my body. And then I dive into homeschooling my kids. So how is your morning? And I wanted to ask you something. So in this book, so I've just been picking books and different things to talk about till we go through a book in its entirety. But in this book, which I shared yesterday, if you watched the live, this book is a very teeny tiny read. You can read it all in one sitting. It would be great for teenagers to read. I often get asked, do my teenagers read books? Yes, they do. In fact, our daughter, who is 14, Emery, you should hand me that book. Oftentimes I'll have people say, what should my daughter read? So Emery is reading this book called Authentically, Uniquely You by Joyce Meyer. So she's 14. This is the book that she's going through. There's some really incredible authors, incredible books, people for you to encourage your kids to also read books and to fuel their mind and to think right and to help them realize, like, listen, school's great. I homeschool my kids. If you're a teacher, don't get mad at me. I don't know if there's always, like, these kids are forced to read these books. Again, some of them are great. I'm sure there's great learning lessons in Shakespeare. I totally get it. And if you ask a majority of teenagers about the books they're reading, either A, they're not really reading it and they're reading the Cliff Notes, B, they're not interested in it, and it almost ruins them for reading in the future. For example, how many of you have read a book lately? Or maybe you just started reading or realized, oh my goodness, there's some incredible knowledge and wisdom to learn from other people. I was forced to read when I was younger because maybe I wasn't interested in those books. All I'm going to say is this. There's some incredible wisdom and knowledge for teenagers from some incredible authors and books that they can read that they will enjoy, that will inspire them to keep on learning as they get into young adulthood and old adulthood. All right? So if you're a teacher, don't get mad at me. I'm sure Shakespeare's great. We're not reading it. Don't be offended. All right. Are you ready? Great. Okay. Listen, because if I was you, actually, let me ask you this question and then I'm going to read you something. If you have a teenager or a young adult or preteen and you have a book that you've had them read, share with us below, like, hey, my teenagers have read this book. I ask that because I'm in the teenage world and my kids are always asking for books. This is a very little book. It's called Max Out Your Life. Super simple. So it's basically just going to give you some simple steps, very simple steps to max out your life. All right. So he talks about get your thoughts set for the day. That's why I do these morning lives. We talk about owning your morning, owning your day, whatever you're thinking about is going to direct your day, right? And so whatever your mind is thinking about first thing in the morning is what you will be looking for throughout the day. I'm going to say that one more time because I'm going to give you some questions. When I'm done, I'm going to write these questions down and I'll put them in the comments of this video. But I would highly recommend that you write them down as well or copy and paste when I write them down for you. But whatever your mind is thinking about first thing in the morning, the reason I say I want you to write these questions down is I want you to put them on your mirror, in your bathroom, or by your bedstand, or something on your phone so that you can go to these questions right away in the morning to help your mindset. Whatever your mind is thinking about first thing in the morning is what you will be looking for throughout the day. So he said, I learned a technique from Tony Robbins about 20 years ago, and I do this every single morning. So he does this every single morning to help me control what I focus on and remain in charge of my thoughts throughout the day. So these are the questions you can ask yourself as you get up right away in the morning. You go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you see these on your mirror, and here are the questions you should ask yourself. Number 1, what am I happy about in my life right now? What are you happy about? Listen, whatever you focus on right away in the morning is what you're going to be looking for throughout the day. So ask yourself this question. What am I happy about in my life right now? Number 2, what am I excited about in my life right now? What makes me excited? Listen, we're training our brain to look for the positives, to stay in the positive, to go, I'm so excited, because you're going to look for it and find it throughout the day. Number 3, what am I proud of in my life right now? And actually, if you want to answer these below, I'd love to know. What are you proud of in your life right now? Number 4, what am I grateful for in my life right now? What are you grateful for? I'd love for you to share below something you're grateful for. I've got a couple more. What am I enjoying most in my life right now? What about it am I enjoying, and how does it make me feel? What am I enjoying in my life? Whether you ask yourself 1 or 2 questions or all of these, the point is you get your mindset moving in the right direction, which will help direct your day in a better direction instead of wallowing in your sorrows, being frustrated, complaining about something from yesterday. We're focused on moving forward, right? Another question is, what am I committed to in my life right now? What are you committed to? That would be a fun one actually to ask you right now. I would love to know the answer below. What are you committed to in your life right now? Last question to ask yourself, who do I love? Who loves me? And how does this make me feel? Who do I love? Who loves me? And how does this make me feel? Most people roll out of bed in the mornings and start worrying. What do I have to do today? What bills do I have to pay? And they go down this road of negativity. I have to do this. I have to do this. Instead, I get to, and then ask yourself these questions. Listen, there are so many things that will try to grab your attention, make you worry or fear, shut off the news, and go, if you're committed to working on your mindset, then I would highly recommend you write these questions down, put them on your mirror, and ask yourself them in the morning and just go through them real quick. What makes me happy? What am I excited about? What am I proud about? What am I grateful for? What am I enjoying in my life? What am I committed to, and who do I love? I'm going to take these questions. I'm going to put them in the comments. You can copy and paste. And I would say, ask these questions to yourself every morning. Your mindset is important. And so as you do that, yes, I keep getting asked, the book. This is the book. Take a screenshot. You can go grab it. It's a simple read. We are going to be going through the book called Mind Shift by Erwin McManus, and we'll start that next week. And I actually had a thought last night, and the thought was this. I hop on in the mornings, and my hope is to help you with your mindset, but I do want to also add value in your health arena, right? In your health spoke. I often say, I like to look at life, and I wonder where, hey, Eliza or Emery. Oh, never mind. I'll do it tomorrow. I like to look at your life as like, it's a circle. It's like a tire, and you've got different spokes. If some of you've heard me say this, right? You've got your health spoke. In your tire, you've got your relationship spoke, your work spoke, your spiritual spoke, your financial spoke, right? You've got this tire. And each spoke plays it's a different area of your life, but they need to work together. If one of the spokes is broken, it affects the rest of your life. And so my hope is I'm going to start kind of not shifting this. I want to give you something for your mindset, but I also want to encourage you on your health spoke. It's the reason you're here. You're on the Keto Mom page because most of you are like, listen, Steph, I think mindset is great. I think it's the most important, but I also know most people want health-related topics. So I thought today, hey, I want to encourage you in this. First of all, what are you drinking? So the first thing I ask somebody when I'm coaching them and to get healthier is, what's in your shaker bottle? What's in your cup? Are you drinking a ridiculous amount of sugar? So that's something to always be aware of. Listen, a part of taking control of your health, and whether it's losing weight or losing fat or getting stronger or being healthy, combating an injury, feeling the best way that you can feel so you can function for yourself, for your family, for your spouse, for your employees or your employer, your health is everything, right? And so the first thing that you need to do is have an awareness of, what am I eating and what am I drinking? What am I eating and what am I drinking? Like, it's an awareness. You need to pause and go, all right, why am I eating this in the morning? Why am I constantly grabbing the donut through the drive-thru? I went to grab a coffee, I smelled the donuts, I ate the donut. Why do I do that? What triggers me? You've got to be asking yourself questions throughout the day. Why do I do what I do? And then you've got to have the awareness to break it, to shift it, to do something different, right? So I like to say, like, listen, what's in your shaker bottle? What are you drinking? Have an awareness of, are you drinking enough water? Do you kind of feel off? I often have so many people say, I don't feel good. I've got cramps, my head, like if they're trying to do keto, or like I get headaches easily. And I'm like, are you drinking enough water? It's a silly question. Not really, but it's a question that often I'm like, listen, most people don't drink enough water. They overconsume sugar. And just by making that switch, might seem simple, but your body will love you for it. Another thing that I like to dive into is, hey, one of the biggest things, and I'll leave you with this today. So we worked on our mindset. I think water is super important. And then most people are either overweight, gaining weight, or hitting a plateau because they're simply overeating. So if you can have an awareness of how often you're eating and when you're eating, do you eat because, I'm supposed to eat at these times because the clock depicts my times? And some of you, you're like, listen, I only have 15 minutes, or that's my time I'm told I can eat. I get it. But these excessive snacks of these candy drawers and food on the counters and food in the employee lounge, like the amount of food that's everywhere, and we see it and then we think our tummy says you should eat it. We think we're hungry. So one of the biggest things I say is have an awareness of how often you're eating. If your goal is fat loss, then just let's help narrow the window of how often you're eating. Ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I bored? Am I hungry? Am I emotional? Am I hungry? Did the clock tell me to eat? Those two things, an awareness around what you're drinking and how often you're eating, will get you in the right direction of the fat loss you're wanting to achieve. So my hope in the mornings is this is what I'm going to do. We're going to work on mindset. I'm going to give you a keto tip. I'm going to do other keto tips throughout the day because I do want to leave you with something practical that can 100% help you achieve the goals you came here to achieve. My goal is to help people have a better mindset, which I believe will lead to a better life, a happier life, a healthier life. But I know that you want practical tips. I'm going to do both. So I want to say thank you for tuning in. I would say take what you've learned, apply it to your life, write down the questions that you can ask yourself in the morning, be aware and assess what you're drinking, how often you're eating. We can shift into some other tips later. You can always ask questions below. You can always send me a message, and you can always go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on recipes, how to get started. Listen, I mail out ketones every single day. What's in my shaker cup? Water and ketones. It's the only thing I drink. Water, ketones, and electrolytes. I've been drinking ketones for years. I've got a new batch of ketones coming in, so I'm almost out. So I'll be mailing out trial packs here very soon. If you've never tried them, we should chat, post trial in the comments, and I'll explain to you how they work and what they are and why I drink them. But I think they're incredible. I hope you have I was gonna say incredible again. I use amazing and incredible a lot. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm always here to help, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.